I know that some of you have a very difficult life, or even if life is okay, I'm sure there are moments which break you, make you feel sad, make you feel dull. There are problems in life sometimes which don't have a solution, you have to live with it. I've seen people who have children who are disabled. That pain of having a child who's not normal is different, it's unexplainable. All their lives they suffer in their mind. There are so many of such problems. Death is one such problem, out of your hands, out of your control. If any of you have lost any family member, you would understand that pain. Of course, there are smaller problems like, office politics. As a student, you are not great. You have enrolled yourself into courses which you don't like, which you don't enjoy. Going to the college, going to the school is becoming burdensome. You're bored, don't know the purpose of life, don't know why you have taken certain decisions. You're always questioning your decisions. There's no clarity about life. If you see, human life is plagued with problems. Correct? Small, big, and everyone feels that their problem is the bigger problem than others' problems. That is exactly what Krishna in Bhagavad Gita tells Arjuna. When Arjuna tells that I can't fight this war because who am I fighting? I'm fighting with my own relatives, my own cousins, my own uncles. You expect me to fight them and kill them in the war? Like, this is not done. Like, instead of this, I would rather die, okay? Or I will take sannyas, okay? I'll just go into the forest and sit in meditation, trying to realize God. Whereas Krishna says, who the hell are you? Why do you think you are killing them? You are only an instrument in my hands. I am the one who kills. I am the one who creates. Creation, destruction, sustenance, everything is me. Don't give too much self-importance to yourself that you are killing them. Their time has come. If you don't kill them, I will kill them using some other tool. So just do your duty, kill them. There is no attachment needed here. Whether it's your cousin tomorrow, if it's your own wife or a child, there's no attachment. Attachment is basically bondage. That is what Krishna describes. But even Arjuna tells the same thing. You can speak so easily because, you did not face this problem. This is my unique problem. And that's what Krishna says, that everyone thinks that their problem is the biggest problem and a very unique problem. But in reality, there are no problems. All problems are basically mental. It's in your mind. In reality, there is no problem. That is what it is. Then why are humans so much in pain? Always worrying, hurrying, chasing things down, looking at everything as a problem and a solution to that problem. The whole life has become this hunt for problems and solutions, right? I am an orator, I am a teacher, I am a trainer. What I do is speak. I get paid for speaking. That's my career. Of course, what do I speak? I speak so many things, but most of which I speak revolves around finance, which generally I don't prefer speaking on this channel because there's another channel of mine where we only speak about finance. We only speak about commerce, technically. But on this channel, I speak on everything. I don't just speak on finance. I speak on anything, everything. So as a profession, that's what I do. But today was a very, very, very humbling experience for me. Now what happens is, of course, I am a different person everywhere. The way you are with your family is not the same way you are with your friends. Similarly, what I am differs from what is the audience. If the audience is a corporate audience, I address them differently. If it's a UG or a PG audience or a professional courses audience, I address them differently. But all my career, I have been considered by the society, by my professional circle, as a very good speaker, a very good orator, and there was even a point where I used to feel so proud of all these things. I used to feel, yeah, me, like wow, I teach so well. Students appreciate me. Students worship me. I used to love this. But always there have been this 20-30% students who would hate you. Unfortunate thing with training professions is this coaching training. You may be God to someone, but you may be the villain to someone else. Is it not? I am sure when you were in school, you probably liked some teachers, and the same teachers were disliked by some. Is it not? So you cannot get 100% acceptance from everyone. So if you are deriving your whole purpose of life from what other people think about you, it's going to be very difficult for you. But I was also like that. Maybe 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago, I was so worried about, am I a good trainer? Do people really rate me very well? Like your Google ratings. Nowadays, universities also have ratings, professional courses have ratings, corporate trainings have ratings. I was so concerned about my ratings. Like on a 50 participants, am I getting 9.8 out of 10 or not? On 600 participants, am I getting 4.9 out of 5 or not? I used to derive identity from that. And in the beginning of my career as a trainer, my ratings used to be like 3.6, 3.7. I used to feel okay, I'm average, I'm good. Eventually, experience makes you better. I went to 4.9, 4.8, 4.9. And that used to give me so much contentment and pride. Like, wow, I have arrived in the market. I am the best trainer. I can engage anyone. Audience would love me. But you need to understand that you don't get 100% acceptance. Today was a very humbling experience. Today, there was a random session which I was taking. A random session. And with a completely new audience, around 50-60 students. And there was a random session. I was given the liberty to speak on anything. So, I gave them an option. I'm like, okay, do you want me to talk about finance or finance analytics? Or I gave them an option, do you want me to talk on careers? Career guidance, interviews and all that, or do you want me to tell you random stories? And you know what they chose, right? Stories. No one wants to talk about serious things in life. People want stories. Yes, great. I am a great storyteller according to me and according to some people in the society. Who is great, who is not, all this is so subjective. Today when I started telling those stories, 50-60% of them were very engaged, but 40% of them were sleeping, and were sleeping obviously also because this session was happening 6:30 a.m. and the 20 somethings nowadays sleep only by some 2 o'clock in the night, so they probably didn't even catch up on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. They had to get ready and come to this session at 6:30. Morning 6:30 my session began. First of all, it is so useless keeping sessions at that time. No one's really awake unless you're a really morning person or very dedicated or have common sense that you can't sleep, okay, when someone is talking. Correct? Otherwise, anyway, the common sense is deteriorating year on year with new generations. So 40% of them were asleep, or maybe 30% were asleep. So out of 60, maybe 10 or 15 were asleep, maybe. And I didn't bother to wake them up. I'm like, no point waking them up, because they're not in a position to receive anything from you. Whatever you're not even talking very serious things now, you're talking about casual stories. And I chose to tell stories which are really interesting, according to me again. I don't know what's interesting to whom again. But according to me, I was talking about mythological stories and historical stories, and all stories had a common element, which is space-time, time dilation and cyclical nature of time. Crazy stories. These are crazy stories to the level of Inception and Interstellar and Oppenheimer and quantum mechanics. But then common everyday stories which explain you the nature of time in a scientific way. Amazing stories. I have given these kind of sessions. In fact, I remember talking about this time theory in around 6-7 years ago to an audience of around maybe 800 students, and they were doctors. They were all medical students who were in their final year of medicine. They were into Ayurvedic medicine, and that discussion was so interactive. People had to say, people wanted to interact, people wanted to know, people were mesmerized, because nothing great about me. The greatness is in the stories itself. And these stories were not created by me. They are there everywhere on internet and books. Stories are there. It's just that I compiled a set of n number of stories which all relate to a particular topic in a particular order, which makes it a little interesting. And it was an amazing session. Today I was on those similar lines. Today, but then I see that enthusiasm levels of my audience has dropped considerably. Like 25% of my audience is asleep, and the balance 75%, out of them only 50% are truly engaged. The other 25% are semi-engaged. They had more important things to do rather than listen to me. Of course, does this matter to me? The question is, if it matters, then you can't be at peace, because these are factors which are uncontrollable. It is something like Oppenheimer versus Barbie. Oppenheimer movie is very scientific, but then it's not actually so scientific. There's no great science that got discussed. It was more like a biography. But yeah, intellectuals chose Oppenheimer, and Barbie was chosen by the casual crowd. But eventually it turned out that Barbie had life lessons, whereas Oppenheimer also had something, but it was more like biography. Now, Christopher Nolan, whoever has directed Oppenheimer movie, don't you think it's sad for him that the theaters are empty? Literally, I went to a cinema and we were only 6 people in around 200-300 seats. Only 6 people were watching the movie. It's very sad. Was it a masterpiece? Doesn't matter. But from the director's point of view, the movie should be a masterpiece. Christopher Nolan's movies are all masterpieces. Maybe some people will find this also as a masterpiece, but the larger audience did not feel so. So what can Christopher Nolan do? He has put his best foot forward. He has done whatever he can. But if the movie bombs at the box office, you can't take that public's reaction to heart. You have done your job. How they react is not in your control. If you start judging yourself based on how you are being rated, on the box office, on your career, on your personal relationships, life is going to become a living hell. That's what is going to happen. So today, I accepted that, okay, probably this generation of crowd, this age of crowd, or maybe this particular batch of people, we don't know what life experiences they have gone through. We don't even know what they have gone through the previous night. Are they in the zone, in the mindset to actually sit and enjoy your lecture on something very interesting, which is interesting according to you? Can't say. So I still did my job. I delivered the session in the most interesting way possible, again, according to me, and left the session. The minute I left the session, this thing dawned upon me that, okay, the engagement was not great, the response was not that great. That too on something which is so interesting. If I'm talking boring things, I don't know. Then I deserve to be treated like this. So that first thought came like, what is this? Why is the audience like this? Why didn't I get a great response? Then before my mind could take control of these stupid thoughts, the acceptance came. The acceptance came that, okay, this is how it is. This is the world. Then I felt like messaging one of my spiritual friends, spiritual partners, and I messaged him saying, life is mysterious and very humbling. And then I suddenly realized that the whole this mechanism called life is designed to break your ego. Correct? You always think the world is about you. You always think it's all about your life. No, you are a speck of dust in this universe. You are nothing. Your existence is just a small glitch in time. You will be here for a few years and you are gone. Existence moves on, life moves on. The so-called you, this identity, is so momentary. It will collapse. Why do you give so much importance to yourself? Do your job and get out. Play your role in the movie and get out. Don't start feeling that you are that character. The minute you have this attachment that I am this, oh shit, then why is this happening to me? That is the whole problem. Of course, being a human being, the first response was, okay, why was the response so low? Am I no more a good trainer? Doesn't matter. It's not about you, okay? You are a good trainer. You are a bad trainer. Why so much you? I. Leave this bloody. come here, do your job to the best of your ability. The reactions, the receptions, the ratings don't matter, because you are not the center of the universe. Realize and accept life, and every moment of your life has some lesson in it. There is some lesson hidden. People so many times ask, why me? Why me? Because you are the chosen one for the lesson. You did not get your lesson. Until you learn your lesson, the same chapter, the same lesson is going to repeat. You don't like it? Then quickly learn your lesson. Quickly learn the lesson, otherwise the same instances, events will keep on repeating till you get your lesson. I remember some Instagram reel by some, influencer, very cute. She's dancing and she's basically saying that God sends me the same boy in the same, but in a different font. Amazing. I love those words. God is sending me the same boy again and again, just in a different font. She's meaning in a different body, but it's the same guy from the inside, which means you probably are in a toxic relationship and you broke up, and again you are getting into another toxic relationship, you break up, and eventually after a while you realize that all men in my life are the same. They are the same bloody toxic people, just their appearance and color of skin and facial features are changing. Why? Because you still have not got your lesson. Until you get your lesson, the universe will keep on troubling you with the same message, with the same problems again and again and again. What is the solution? There is no solution. Solution is deriving the lesson. Solution is not some outcome. Solution is changing ourselves from the inside for the better. That is the solution. Obviously, the beginning point is total acceptance. Accept life for what it is. Okay, don't make yourself the center of this world. You are not. You are not. No, I am the center of my world. So your world does not even exist. Okay, it's an illusion. Even the world outside is an illusion. Forget that. But your so-called your world is totally an illusion. Don't give yourself so much self-importance. Are you saying I should be depressed? No. Try this. Try making yourself not the center of your universe. I am telling you, your universe will change. You will have such a loving life. You will have such a contented life. You will rise to the next level with acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean zero action. Acceptance doesn't mean, okay, how does it matter if everything is an illusion, let me just not do anything. No, that is not acceptance. Acceptance is also accepting responsibilities. Acceptance is also accepting duties, but without the desire or expectation for a particular outcome. Outcomes are not in your hands. Especially in today's complex world where so many factors drive a single outcome, nothing is in your hands. Your whole contribution matters only 5%, but it matters. You cannot stop action. You have to act your responsibility out, but with total acceptance that yes, I have to do this because this is my responsibility. Try doing it to your best. Whatever comes out, comes out. So today that's what I felt. Like, my ego probably in the last 7 years has broken down so much. In the sense, in my life, I have made myself very less important right now. Very less important. So who is important? No one particular person. It is life which is important. It is existence which is important. Okay. It is contentment which is important. So I have tried to slowly reduce the importance I give to myself. I'm still not there, like I'm still in the path, but it did not affect me much actually today. It was just a second or 10 seconds where my mind went there, saying that, oh, am I not so great like before? So who am I comparing myself with? The best in the industry? Or are you comparing yourself with the past you or the future you? Like, why all this? What has to happen will happen. You do your job and get out of this. That's what has to be done. So today it did not impact me much, but I'm sure if this same reaction or these things had happened like 6 or 7 years ago, someone did not give me a great reception to what I had to say, to what I had to speak, I would have been really sad. I would have blamed myself for lack of preparation, for lack of charm, lack of communication. I would have blamed myself, shit, are you not good enough? Now I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore because now I've totally understood that many things are out of my hands. You may give your best, but still the outcomes are not in your hands. You don't have to be so rude on yourself, saying that you are a useless person. No, I tried my best. I was well prepared. I have delivered. I'm happy that at least 60-70% people have received the message. Maybe it is also with every generation, the attention levels of people drop. The session was more than for 1 hour. So, and again, there has to be acceptance. You again can't blame them also. You can't say that, oh, this useless generation, stupid generation, not good for anything. Doesn't matter what they are. Maybe accept them for what they are. This is how they are. If you really want to make a change next time, make the change in yourself. Okay, probably for this kind of audience, this age of audience, you probably have to have shorter sessions, okay, which keep them engaged, or maybe change the content of your session. Okay, your stories were very interesting. Maybe you need to change the storytelling methods. It's not about you are good, you are bad. You need to adapt. You need to adapt if you really want to give your best. So what I will do now is try to make changes, not because I am guilty for today, because I want to be relevant in my field of work. I want to be relevant. It's not about name or fame that I want to be remembered. As a trainer, I have to be relevant. If I am not relevant, I'm not great. I'm not giving my best. To stay relevant, you can't blame others. You have to change yourself if you want to stay relevant. Again, staying relevant is not a compulsion. You don't want to stay relevant, you want to stick to your old styles, no problem at all. No problem. That's your choice. But then accept the reaction, accept life the way it is. And key takeaway, don't make yourself the center of this universe or even your universe. That will lead you to be very happy. Try this out. Try out. Probably this might work for you.